Welcome to Home Means, where the heart of Nevada comes alive. I'm your host, Heather Brown, and this is a place where we uncover the real stories behind the people that make our state extraordinary. From unforgettable adventures to everyday moments that shape us, this podcast is all about the voices, the faces, and the experiences that make Nevada truly unique. Let's dive in and get to the heart of what home means. Welcome to another episode of Home Means. I'm very excited to have Lauri Perdue with me.
Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Good to see you and glad to be here.
I know. Well, thanks so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule. I know between your day job and your part 2 day job with LVGEA, it definitely keeps you, we definitely all keep you busy.
Yes, that is for sure. I told my daughter I was doing this today, and she's like, cool, can I listen to it so I know what you do? Because they always want to know what I do for a living because it's hard to explain.
That's hilarious. Yes, of course she can listen to it, and we'll make sure that we answer all of her questions. She emailed them to me.
Oh, good.
It's funny, when I used to work in DC, people are like, what do you do? And I'm like, consulting, They're like, okay, so you're a spy. I was like, yes, I'm an international woman of mystery.
Well, when we were in the DC fly-in last year, my daughter was with her boyfriend. She's like, Mom, can you explain to Josh what you do? And I'm like, Laurel, not while I'm here. And she's like, what? I'm like, the Secret Service is here. We don't talk about that right now. And so it went on for like a week that we had Secret Service coverage, and the boy almost broke up with her because he's like, am I safe with you? It was great. We had a really good time.
You're
with
like,
that.
yes, we have Secret Service coverage.
Yes.
That's hilarious. So how long have you been in the Vegas area?
Since 1987.
Oh my God, you were
Yes.
basically a local.
Yes, very much so. I was 13 when I moved here, and 14, and moved to Bonanza High School when the lakes was the last thing on earth up on Sahara and Durango.
That is hilarious. Yeah, we've had a lot of nostalgia in these episodes because we talk about, the original high schools. I went to Western.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm a Western warrior.
All right.
And so very proud of, these, being part of the early fabric of
Yes.
this community. Can you think back to the time when you really felt like this was home?
Yes. As a teenager, I did not want to move here. I had been in Arizona with my same friends, and, everything I knew was there. And when my family and my parents came and said, we're going to move to Las Vegas. In those days, in the 80s, everybody thought you're going to live at Circus Circus. I too thought I was going to live at Circus Circus. So I was like, well, where are we going to live? And they had explained that, it's this new house. And that was sort of interesting to me, but I kind of didn't care. I just still was very focused on, I'm leaving everything I know to go to Las Vegas. And then my dad told me that I'd be going to Bonanza High School. And I was like, dear God, do you want to kill me right now? I'm moving to Las Vegas. I'm going to high school somewhere called Bonanza. So I lied to all my friends, and I told them we were moving to Green Valley because I had heard that word somewhere. And I would never tell them what the name of my high school was. So to say I was not excited to be here is an understatement. I met my best friend that is still my best friend today at the bus stop my first day of high school. And we kind of looked at each other, and everybody else was in their little groups. And I said, are you new? And she said, yeah. I'm like, me too. I'm like, do you have any friends? She's like, nope. I'm like, well, me either. And here we are, 35 gazillion years later, we are still best friends. And we laugh all the time that we were the OG bus stop babes. And so when I really realized it was home, my senior year, my parents said, we're going to move again. I was like, I finally figured it out. Like, I finally made this place my home, and you're going to take me away again. So sure enough, I leave. I go to Colorado. I spend about 4 months there. And I'll never forget, it was basketball tryout day on a Saturday morning. I come home. My parents are sitting at this kitchen table, and they're like, hey, we're going to move back to Vegas. We are so sorry, but we're not happy here. And I went and packed up my room. It took me about an hour and 45 minutes. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. When do we leave? And I couldn't wait to come back.
Oh, I love that you had that experience in high school, that you were able to make that connection.
Yeah, it was, as much as I didn't like it, I had made it what it needed to be for myself. And leaving it was hard. And I left one other time. So I went to UNR for college and straight away moved to Buffalo, New York, right out of college. And we came home and I was like, we're never leaving here. Like, when we went to Buffalo, I'm like, this will be so cool to try something different. And I missed everything about this place. I missed going to the grocery store when I wanted. I missed a bowling alley staying open past 10 o'clock. I missed the amount of opportunity I had for entertainment and things to do here. And I'll never forget, I would sit in Buffalo and I'm like, do you know there's better places to live? Like, do you know you don't have to live here? So I came to be very accustomed to all the amazing things that we have here and how valuable it is to our quality of life.
I love that you've been doing economic development even before you joined the board of LVGA.
I don't know if people really saw it that way. They probably thought it was very disrespectful, but I'm like, the weather sucks and there's nothing to do here. You can go away.
Quality of life does exist.
Yes, yes.
That is so funny. So you came back from Buffalo.
Yep.
And you've lived here ever since.
Yes.
Awesome. Professionally, walk me through some of your journey, because we hear a lot about diversify our economy. We need to bring different jobs in. Truth be told, that's why I originally left, because I graduated. To be fair, I graduated in 2008. Not a great time to be out of college. But talk to me about your professional career and how you've got to where you are today.
Okay. By accident. Coming back from Buffalo, I was married to a professional football player. So he played for the Buffalo Bills. We came home in the off season and I got a job that summer working through a temp agency, because I'm like, I got to have something to do. We had like 5 months off. So I was working for the Apartment Guide as like the front desk girl with my college degree. I learned how to do Excel there. I didn't know how to do that. And my 3-week time was over with them. And at the same time that was done, my husband was going back to training camp. So I decided that I was going to stay back because there was a possibility he might get cut or picked up by another team. So I'm like, well, you go live in team housing. I'll wait. So I got another position through the temp agency at this place called the University of Phoenix. I had no idea what this was. I had no idea there were colleges beyond ASU, UNLV, and UNR. And I remember showing up, and my job was to data enter transcripts. And I'm like, what is this place? I had no idea what private education was. So for 2 weeks, I sat in the back of an office and data entered transcripts. And I hated every minute of it, and I couldn't wait till it was over. In Buffalo, my ex-husband ended up getting injured, so he was put on IR for the year. So he came home, had surgery and things, and my time with University of Phoenix became a 7-month temp stint, and then it became permanent. And I think I was there 12 years, and it was completely by accident. And where I really learned what this place was and what made it special was when they moved me from the back of the office to the front lines. And I worked at the front desk, and I met students coming in for appointments. I met faculty members who were coming in after work to teach classes. And that's when I learned, oh my gosh, this is designed for working adults. Mm-hmm. This is an alternative opportunity for people who, didn't have the luxury or the motivation to go to college right after high school. And the stories of the students blew me away. And I worked my way up there. After I was a temp, they had an opening in enrollment. I became an enrollment counselor, enrollment manager, and then enrollment director. And I stayed in that role for about 10 years. And then I left and worked at the Art Institute for 10 years and came back as the college president 6 years ago. And now I work in a national capacity as a national workforce director.
Oh. I love that so much, because you got an opportunity to see what higher ed could do for people, especially for working adults, the ones that couldn't go straight in from when they were 18.
Yes.
For whatever reason, motivation, opportunity. And I think the Las Vegas community, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. Mm-hmm. That's not an accident.
Yep.
Right? They all went to go work on a strip or started their own jobs.
Yep.
Or got married or, whatever their reasoning was. I was the first person to go. And so now, there's a look back at education, and it sounds like those would have been the types of folks that you would have been helping. And that's so many stories like that in Las Vegas.
Interestingly, when I came there was 200 students. So the campus was brand new, 200 students. By the time I left 12 years later, there was 4,500. The need for college opportunities beyond traditional routes was so needed in our city, because we had less than 20% college graduates in those days. I mean, now we're still less than 30. We really need to work on it. But I can think of students right off the bat that absolutely blow my mind still today, their stories. I remember there was this one man that came in. His whole family worked in construction, and this was during the big booms of construction time too. And he came in and he's like, I just want to go to school. He's like, I didn't get to go out of high school. I need to go. I can do it at night here. This is what I want to do. And our job was to find out why. So one of the secret sauce of the University of Phoenix is really to build a relationship with that potential student, understand why they want to do this, what the hurdles are, so that we can help them navigate that as they go. And it took me a long time to get this super masculine construction bro to open up and explain that his kid was getting bullied at school. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, no, my kid's getting bullied and I don't have the resources to give him what I want. And I don't have a trajectory for that to change. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? And he said, he doesn't wear the right jeans. And back in the day, we had tough skin jeans from Kmart. Like, I don't know why I remember all of this. And he's like, yeah, that's what my kid wears to school. And he was getting teased and he got in a fight. And he's like, I need to do better as a parent. And I will never forget, fast forward 3-4 years, we're at graduation, and he walks up to me in his gown, and he's got, his whole family in tow, and there's this little boy in a 3-piece suit. And he looks at me, and I said, oh. He's like, yeah, he's got 3 more in the closet just like that. And that to me encompassed the power. This man knew he wanted to do better for his family. And we were a vehicle that he could do that with.
Public schools weren't focused on this at the time.
No.
They were focused on the 18-year-old coming out of high school and then churning them out in 4 years. Yeah. It was a diploma. That was it. That was the only focus, was diplomas.
You're going to the military.
Yep.
Or you're going to work where, aunt, uncle, dad works, or you're going to college.
And there wasn't this idea of wraparound services, and this wasn't this idea that the student had a holistic journey. It was, here's your 126 credits, go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We touched on this, but you're also the chair of LVGEA. Yep. In that capacity, what is the driving force that has you participate in the levels that you do?
Coming into it, my motivation was very different than where I am now 5.5 years later, or however many years it is. In the beginning, it was about access. Like, I needed access to people. I needed networking. I needed to know who the players were in the city and build relationships, because I knew how integral an opportunity like University of Phoenix can be in workforce development. But I didn't know who I needed to be connected to find the pathways for us to be able to help. And, whenever I would hear anything, it was always the same 3 schools mentioned: Nevada State, UNLV, CSN, amazing institutions. But when only 25% of your population has college experience, there is a vast group of working adults that can't drive to UNLV and, 3 days a week or whatever the schedule is. And so I knew we had something that could be valuable. So that was my driving motivation, was meeting people, finding ways to plug the university into transitioning workforce development in Southern Nevada. And now where I see my role in LVGEA is to be a non-traditional voice and convener of workforce development and community convening.
Where do you see the biggest opportunity for Nevada's future?
Well, that is a great question. I believe it is in workforce development, because nothing changes unless we create the pipeline of future employees and emerging talent to do the future work in our city. Nothing changes unless we impact our school district, impact the pathways to whatever it is, training, higher ed, military. We don't do a good job of, when students leave high school, them knowing what is next. And not only just them, but their families. And if we could improve that, I think that has a ripple effect that improves all other aspects of our community. Because I hear this all the time. I can't go to college because I have to watch my younger siblings. So I have a job at Panda Express and I have a job at Kohl's. I'm like, well, you are bilingual and you could go work at Barclays and make $25 an hour and have benefits and work remotely, and you could still watch Sister Brother and get your tuition paid for by school. But there's nobody in our valley that does that work of lining up those pathways for people.
I work at LVGA, and I've thought a lot about, our talent pipeline and what this looks like in the workforce sector. We have so many incredible organizations and nonprofits that focus on this, but we do know that there's gaps.
Yeah.
And I actually I think you're right. I think, I don't know how we do it, right? Because is it as simple as inviting them to a basketball game and then giving them some, educational material? Or is it something where we have to go into the schools? Is it parent-teacher conference? Is it flyers? Is it,
I have a solution.
I would love to hear it.
Okay, so this is my dream. I need to win Powerball, and then I will fund this for the rest of existence. I believe that there should be, call it five bridge counselors in every high school. And they start working with high school students in the beginning of their junior year. And it's almost like having a caseload or a portfolio of students. So let's say they each have 100 students, and their job is to start meeting with them in their junior year and say, okay, what do you want to do? When this is over, we got 2 years to figure this out. Mm-hmm. Do you want to go to the military? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to trade school? Do you want to, work in one of the hotels? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And then be able to give them experiences in those settings so that they solidify, yes, that's what they want to do. And then have a component where the parents come into that with them. And then the parents are also educated on what this next step is.
Would love to see more counselors. I mean, we saw it during the pandemic when they brought in counselors, mm-hmm. and what that did for the students. Yes, obviously life was way different.
Yeah.
But I do think you're right. Having somebody who understands the all the options and laying them out for you. I can make the comparison to LVGA itself. We know all the options for businesses. They're not just coming here on their own. We're guiding them. Mm-hmm. So why aren't we doing that for our young people? I totally agree with you.
Grant McCandless, I think he was in maybe your leadership group, but he did a big study on the 18 to 24-year-old young people who are not actively either working or going to school. There is a huge opportunity there for us. And even if we got 1/3 of those young people in a pathway to something, that changes the whole trajectory of our city.
Well, I do know that we have 300,000 Clark County residents that have some type of higher ed credentialing that never finished. Mm-hmm. So even if we were to just break it down to the 17 and 18-year-olds that are looking for next steps, mm-hmm. looking at these people who have done it once, I mean, we would completely change the trajectory of our state.
Yeah. A lot of the work I do at University of Phoenix right now is built around relationships with large employers on a national scale. And the majority of them do not care about a piece of paper anymore. They want skills. Yeah. 100% want skills. And we rebuilt our entire curriculum at the university to be skills-based. So when a student takes a class, they are introduced, taught, and assessed on 3 skills. So as you can imagine, that skills inventory grows. And my job is to work with employers and say, hey, we want your jobs into this skills-based talent acquisition platform. It scrapes their job description for skills, matches it to the talent pool that we have that has those skills, and then markets the jobs to those students and alumni. So for instance, if you were a student and you've taken 10 classes, you have 30 new skills, and you're trying to break into IT, but right now you work at a hotel at the front desk. You don't really know how. Don't have any contacts. We are bringing you those contacts and saying, hey, Heather, there's an employer out there that's looking for a student that has exactly your skill set. Do you want to apply? And it's a warm intro to that employer. And it's been game changing.
I mean, but that is how this works, right? It is the warm intros. It is the, people don't really have the opportunity to go intern for free.
Right.
Which was how probably you and I got our start, right? I know I did. I had to intern for free, and then I got my first job, which led to my second job, which led to where I am today, right? But it's people don't have that opportunity.
Nope. And yeah, it's interesting.
Who do you think are some of the, unsung heroes of our organization, but also just in the broader community that really deserve more recognition in the state?
Mike Bonner comes to mind, number one. He has been a very long time LVGEA board member. He was also the chair of the chamber years ago. And with his industry expertise in law and corporate law and governance, he brings so much to the table for that board and the things that he's done for that organization. Like, we don't even think about it. We're just like, oh, Mike Bonner and his team, they'll take care of the bylaws, or Mike Bonner and his team will take care of this contract. And he never says no, and he always educates us.
I think that is such a good example because I couldn't agree more. He is just such the most genuine human, and his passion for this community and what he does and how he gives selflessly. I totally agree. That is the best answer because he really is a wonderful human. I'm definitely going to have him on the podcast because I know he loves this community just as much as we do.
Oh, yes, for sure.
So what do you do? What is a weekend? What is what is Lauri outside of her professional stuff?
Lauri is very the same. I will tell you that. The Lauri that shows up at an LVGEA event or a Kids Little League game, I am the same person. And I think that is something that sets me apart from a lot of people, is what you see is always what you get with me. But on the weekends, I have parents who both just turned 80, and I know that I don't have a gazillion years with them. So I am very intentional of, making sure I hit their house for some card games or bring dinner over one night. They're still very active, but I know that time is precious. So that's very intentional. My favorite thing, if I get the opportunity, is to garden.
Well, I'm going to have to invite you over to my house because my HOA keeps yelling at me about a dead tree. I don't think it's dead, but, it's...
I made my husband join the HOA.
Yeah,
that was not a good move.
I also want for you to highlight Serving Our Kids.
I met the founder of Serving Our Kids. He came and did a presentation, and essentially Serving Our Kids serves over 4,500 students, K through 8, every week, a weekend meal bag. So many of our students, I think it's 113,000 students in Clark County are considered food insecure. So what that looks like is they are relying on school breakfast and lunch to eat every day. And on the weekends, they go hungry. So Serving Our Kids is the bridge that gets them from a Friday afternoon to a Monday morning. And we need to grow really bad because 4,500 is not enough. But the organization has been in existence for about 17 years. And it started out of a Girl Scout troop that was... they had their meetings at an elementary school, and homelessness had really become a big problem at this school, and they started doing food drives. And this dad of a Girl Scout was like, I wonder what we could do. And him and another parent got together, and they created Serving Our Kids and did a phenomenal job, like just grassroots, putting this nonprofit together. So I show up on the scene when he does his presentation of Leadership Las Vegas, and I'm watching this man, and I'm like, how do you do this? And I said, do you ever not have enough money? And he looked at me and he said, oh, yeah. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I pray. I'm like, well, that's not sustainable. There's 4,000 kids that rely on you to eat every week. And but that was what he did. Like, that was his secret sauce was faith. It will always work out. I will go tell my story. I will find it. We helped him retire, and he needed to. It was time. He had done this for 13 years with, shoestring and bubble gum, keeping this thing together. And when I joined, I told him, I said, what I want to bring to you is sustainability and structure so that long after you, this will continue for the kids in our community. And it is the greatest work I'm blessed to do.
That is such a consistent theme on this podcast, is the selflessness and the way we give back to this in this community. You're able to make sure that 4,400 students can make it to Monday, where they can go back to school and hopefully make it to graduation and then the next year and then work their way through it. Like that, especially in K through 8, like those are fundamental years where they're growing. And I'm so blessed. Those kids are so blessed, but I feel so lucky to know you and all the work that you're doing. And we definitely want to make sure that we're helpful. I know you do an annual fundraiser.
We do a couple, yes. And thank you for volunteering. Like, that was such a treat that day to get that text of, hey, do you need help? Like, we always need help. Yes, come.
Yeah.
And that was amazing to have you there. So thank you.
I think that is kind of the unsung story of this community, is that there are so many nonprofits that need support but have the human capital because people want to give back and they want to be invested in this community. So
yep, we just need to streamline our efforts.
Yeah,
there's so many nonprofits that is one of my bridge counselors is a dream, and my other dream is to put every nonprofit on a whiteboard and go, okay, who can we combine and do bigger, better work? Because there's so many little places doing their part, and we love that, right? Like, we all love what we're doing, but could we be more efficient and effective if we could combine some of these efforts? But then again, that creates bureaucracy and some red tape sometimes too. So there's a healthy, there's got to be a healthy balance in there.
The last thing I'll ask you before we do rapid fire,
okay,
is if you could leave one piece of advice for someone trying to make a difference, what would it be?
You always have enough time.
All right, we're going to do some rapid fire questions.
I'm ready.
All right, what's your favorite local restaurant?
This one's so hard. I've been thinking about this for 3 days. I'm going to have two. One, Il Chianti. And I'm going to big shout out to a Henderson restaurant. And it is a chef that used to work on the Strip that wanted work-life balance with his family. And he opened this small little restaurant, but it is 5-star dining. And he is one of the most personable chefs I've ever met. His name is Rudy, and he will come to every table. And if you've ever eaten there, you know Rudy. And if you haven't been there, you got to try it.
All right, shout out Rudy.
Yeah.
Let's
then
go.
My second one is Grape Street, because I was going to Grape Street when the OG was on Vegas Drive, and I don't know, the 95 forever.
Yeah.
And I love some Grape Street.
It is a good spot. What's a must-visit spot for a newcomer to our valley?
Boulder City.
Totally agree.
I love Boulder City. I feel like I'm very fortunate. I live way deep Henderson, so it's like 11 minutes from my house. But when my kids were young, we could sit out on the patio. They could eat pizza. I could eat at the wine bar, and my husband could watch whatever sport was at the sports bar. And we could all sit in the same place, and everybody was happy. But I always felt like I was on vacation out there.
I'm going to ask, what's the best hidden gem in Southern Nevada?
Monday's Dark.
Oh, yes.
Monday's Dark is one of my favorite finds ever, serving our kids again.
Yep.
When I came on the scene with Serving Our Kids, we were the charity one Monday. And what they do is they pick 26 charities every year. I think that's right. Mark, don't shoot me for the wrong number. But every other Monday, they pick a charity, and they give them $10,000. And that charity is responsible for bringing in, selling tickets, bringing in raffle prizes, and doing some activities during the show. But it's 90 minutes. He brings performers from the Strip to, whatever the theme of the night is. And it is the best $20 seat in town. It's a blast.
Yeah, I've been. It's amazing.
And his work is like, if you can't rally around that, oh my gosh, that guy is dynamic. We've got Golden Pipes, who is the backup singer in that. I mean, you're literally $20. If you haven't done that, you are way missing out. We take everybody there.
No, that is such a good answer. It is a wonderful way to spend a Monday.
Yes.
And the fact that it's all to give to charity.
And they have wine.
Yeah. And they have wine.
Yeah.
Our favorite thing. What's your go-to coffee shop?
Oh, I'm going to say Coffee Bean at the District.
Yeah.
And it is because it's hustling and bustling on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
I usually see the same riders there that ride their bikes there. Like I said, I have this giant dog, and he knows that when we get in the car on a Saturday morning, we're going to have coffee, and he's going to get pet. And we know the gal who runs the coffee shop. We've known her for years. And it's I guess it's our coffee cheers. Yeah.
We got to get him a pup cup.
Yeah. Oh, he's good at those.
What's your favorite place to unwind?
My backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can go out all day long, wherever. I mean, you do the same thing as I do, a million events every month. And sometimes the greatest place I can be is just sitting in my yard.
What's the best view in the city?
Okay. So when you get onto the 215 at Horizon and Horizon, okay, you're elevated just a little bit. And at dusk, you come over that ridge and the city is just glittering. And I'll never forget my youngest daughter. Anytime we took that drive, she'd say, "Look, Mom, it's the treasure chest." And now every time we take that drive, I always think, I'm like, there's our treasure chest.
What's your favorite thing to do on the weekend?
Hang out with my parents. And I know that's weird maybe for me. I don't know. But I dig my parents. I've got killer parents. And I want to soak up every weekend I can have with them.
What is one must-have experience for visitors?
God, I was thinking about this one too. These are hard. I will tell you, I had to ask my husband, and he said the link. I think everybody who comes to this city should take a ride on the link, but again, not at night, not totally during the day, like at dusk, because I think it gives you the perspective of Las Vegas in a way that you can't see it any other way. Like you could drive all over, but you don't get the essence of how small the valley really is, like the different corners. It's a different way of viewing our city. And it really highlights what's beyond the Strip.
What is the most underrated perk about living in Nevada?
You don't have to go anywhere because everybody comes here. I get to connect with so many people in my life that I wouldn't normally see because they're coming here for something. And I don't have to be on vacation here. Because sometimes when I do walk around the Strip and I'm like, oh my God, this is your vacation. I'm exhausted and I barely got to like the pool. So I appreciate that this isn't my vacation.
Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming and sharing what home means to you. I do think that everything you do for our community, whether it's helping people with their workforce needs and making sure that our adult workers get a education that uplifts their families, and everything you do at LVGA really matters. And I really appreciate you taking some time to share that with us.
Yeah, and thank you for letting me reflect on some of this, because you know how it is. We're busy people, and we usually don't sit back and go, why do I live here? What is it really? And it was fun to reminisce and really think through those questions and remember how special and how lucky we are to be here. It is a special place.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Yes.
So,
well, here's to Nevada.
That's right. Home means Nevada.
There you go. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you.